I'm just saying.
97 seconds. Tell him.
I'm just saying. If I fall and impale myself on my necklace
on your
and
beautiful
die,
necklace,
it was my time.
Right.
I mean, let's you can't
So
call it
make
fuck
me
all
laugh
else
anymore.
If I die by impaling myself on my necklace, it was my time.
On your own necklace.
On my own necklace.
You know why it freaks me out is only because of those stories when we were kids, like, don't run with the sucker in your mouth, you impale your face.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, how about the story like, as a kid, don't lean out the window, your head's so heavy it'll pull your body out of the window.
People told you that? Holy shit, that's messed up.
Because when you're little, your head weighs so much, right?
Yeah.
They didn't want me falling out of a window because of the weight of my head.
Wow.
Either that or they were telling me I was stupid.
Listen,
I don't know.
per the martial art rule, it would count. Where the body goes, the body, or where the head goes, the body must count. Follow. So,
Let's say that again.
Where the head goes, the body must
will
follow.
right.
So, yeah, out in the 80-mile wind with a 80-pound little tiny Joe Skelly, I think that would have made sense. Maybe. That's I never heard that one, though. That's funny.
It wasn't funny to me.
Wait,
I was always scared to death I was going to fall out a goddamn window.
hold on. You know what? I think I've never heard that is because I was never putting my head out the window, actually,
wow.
now that I'm thinking about it. What were you doing sticking your head out the window, guy?
Because you want to see what's down, like, below you.
No, that's never happened to me.
You never wanted to look out the window and see what
Hell
was...
no.
Like on the second floor, you didn't want to see what was on the ground right at the base of the window?
See, we are not the same.
We are not the same.
We are not the same,
Apparently,
bro.
we're not the same.
You see, I used to think that we both would have been in like Slytherin, but now I'm starting to think that I'm over here in another house, and I haven't figured out where you go yet. I'm gonna have to revisit all my Harry Potter knowledge later because we are not the same.
Speaking of Harry, now I'll touch bases with you about that later.
Oh, is it gonna be about the book?
Yeah,
Our book?
yeah,
You know we're chaptering that.
our book.
You were right. Listen, man, it's ours. Everything's ours. Everything's
All
ours.
I said was
Every project
do
I've
the short
spawned.
story, drop it, and see what happens.
Listen, some of us aren't as creative as you.
Bro, you get never mind.
So
All
then
right.
it is our book. Well, which is it? Is it our book or is it not as creative as you? It's only could be one or the two. And if I'm not as creative as you, which
No,
I'm
you're way more creative.
no, you have it backwards.
Way more.
If I can't write the book by myself, that means it's got to be our book, which means we haven't written it yet.
All right.
That's all. That's I'm gonna put that out there.
Fair. All right.
Shout out to our fan who keeps sending me Harry Potter stuff. That really makes me smile. There's one of them out there. It's one of the fans that you introduced me to, actually.
Okay.
I'm a very big fan.
Awesome.
And she's always sending me Harry Potter stuff, and it just brightens my day. Figured I'd say that right now since we're on Harry Potter.
Okay.
No more Harry Potter talk.
You can let it go.
No, I'm just in that business mode. I've been trying to stay so focused.
Okay.
It's not working.
Well, it's probably because you're worried about things like Tommy knockers.
What the fuck is a Tommy knocker?
You don't know. You don't
What's
know.
a Tommy knocker?
You don't know about the Tommy knockers?
No, but that's a funny name.
It is a funny name, but it's not so funny when you're working in a mine underground.
Oh no, dude, why? It's like day one again. What is it? What is it?
Tommy knockers are spirits and ghosts of the mountains that live inside the mines. Miners will hear them knocking.
Nope.
They're like, if you hear you know what they say? If you hear the Tommy knockers, get the fuck out of the mine because there's going to be a collapse. Oh yeah, there's all kinds. Google it. If you want to know, you want to learn lore and you want to learn stuff, read about the Tommy knockers. And
3 minutes. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and I feel like it's day one.
Right.
We just got on the mic talking about how we found our voice at episode 65, and then you're like, "Hey, let me fuck with this kid again." Bro, come on, dog.
Right, and miners, they are deadly scared of fucking the Tommy knockers.
Yeah, I would be too.
Now, I
Because
think there's a stupid ass movie that was named after that. It might have been a Stephen King movie, but I'm not sure if it has anything to actually do with the real lore. The real lore.
Bro, that's fucking death lore.
It is death lore.
That's so scary.
Like, they're like, if you hear the Tommy knockers, somebody's gonna die.
Tommy knockers. I swear to gosh, there's a.
It is a
Excuse
goddamn
me.
Stephen King movie.
Is it? Shaggy's got it over there. Hey, can you lay that microphone down there, Shaggy? It's in my way.
Fucking guy.
So, well, of course it's a book. He was an author before he was a movie maker. Well, this guy. You hear this guy? Listen.
Look at the big brain on Brad.
He said it's one of Stephen King's books. Well, he hasn't dropped any rap albums lately. Listen, if you guys, before we continue speaking on rap, Joe Skelly's favorite rapper is Tech Nine. If you guys ever want to go to a Tech Nine show in Cleveland, Joe Skelly and I will probably be there.
Oh yeah, we'll have to go because Tyler is going to drag me.
Listen, you laugh, but there's more guys from your crew than my crew there, and that's like a real thing. Probably.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Scary. Well, it's scary to me because I never thought that. I was kind of I was one of those people that they were like, let's go to a rap show. And I was like, why? Why in the fuck would I want to be there? What would happen there that I would enjoy?
And then you fell in love. Yeah.
I mean, it's a tech show. It's not a rap show. It's
and then
just
you wrote that song, I'm in love with a rapper. Right. I know.
So wrong. This is so wrong. We're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in way big trouble.
Let me ask you a question because I have a whole interview ready to sideswipe you today.
Well, you can't because I'm a bombasticate this.
I see that.
See? Tommy Knockers started it off. But it's interesting.
Yeah, because you got actually, you know what? Fuck it. We should have stopped the episode and restart so I get the better hand. I feel like I don't have the upper hand now.
I can't relent. I'm not going to relent now. But so think about this. You know, I keep seeing these videos about these guys exploring abandoned mines and shit.
Oh,
right?
hell no.
Right? And it's like
it's
like a big thing, right?
Bro.
And they're like,
no, it's not.
There was a collapse here. And you see like the wooden structures that are there holding up the roof, and they've been underground and getting wet for, 90 years, and like all the boards are rotting out. And I'm like, this is not good. They put this here for a reason. These boards are now rotten. You probably shouldn't be here, right? But I wonder if any of them...
the people back then who didn't have cell phones and were still making their fucking shoes out of wood, they shouldn't have been there. Okay? Let's get real clear. Right. They didn't even have flashlights. Dude,
you know how they used to mine? It was by candle, right?
Hell no.
Initially, yeah, or by oil lamp, right? Initially, right? And then they moved into carbide. They'd have these lamps. They would burn this carbide powder.
You think it was like an O-light and like randomly they'd blow up on their heads and shit?
I'm sure that there were some fires.
They're like, hey man.
They literally used a flammable material in this little lantern that would be on their helmet.
Negative Ghost Rider. Right. Negative Ghost Rider.
And then you got to figure about how many people. This is before they had
OSHA.
No, before OSHA, but it's also before they had, air quality testers. So what they used to do is they used to take canaries in cages.
Yeah, and if they died,
and if the canary died, that meant there was gas in there. It was time to get out.
Oh my gosh. Right. So if the place goes silent, time to go?
Yeah, right.
What the F, bro?
Right. So my question is, I wonder if these guys are exploring these abandoned mines, I wonder if they hear Tommy Knockers.
Listen, you know what nobody ever talks about?
You know what? I've watched some guys that go into mines and stuff. Maybe I'll comment on their video and see if I get a response from them.
No, you won't. You want to know why? Because they're all fucking trapped in the mine they went into last week. Well, that's not cool.
I'm telling you, some of these mines I see these people go into are sketch as fuck.
Listen, I love you, Joe Skelly, and I'll go anywhere with you with purpose. But that's not purposeful. And if we ever go to a mine, bro, I'm going to stop on the outside of the door.
Oh, you ain't going to go in?
Hell no. That's one place you will not convince me. We will ghost chase to the end of this
underground.
Fucking earth. No.
No?
No. No.
So this is a new one. I wasn't aware of this.
Oh, no. Cave diving, spelunking, the fuck no. Not even a little bit.
All right.
Nope.
All right.
Dude, you and me will be white shark cage diving before we get into a cave, homie. Because at least there, if the shark gets us, at least we're gonna either get eaten or float to the surface, bro. I'm not trying to get crushed. No. I don't want the
trapped underground in the darkness.
I don't want the last 30 hours we have to be us breathing our own shit because we shit ourselves in a hole that's the size of our sleeping bag. That's not happening. I just choose no. We'll put that in a box with meth, the crocodile drug,
the crocodile tears.
The crocodile. Put it in there with let's see, what else is there? Fighting polar bears, wrestling gorillas, whatever the fuck anyone else can think of. You know what's a new one?
Snake charming.
Yeah. That's not a real thing. Listen, we're doing so good on this episode. We're not even going to cover that big topic. What do you got going on over there today?
Well, I mean,
I have a big one, but I'm going to save it now.
So, okay. This is kind of goes along with UFOs and mysticism and some other stuff. And I was because I was reading and then I started watching about the pineal gland, right? Pineal gland sits in the center of your brain.
We have,
right?
yeah. Okay, good. I was
Okay.
making sure. Let's talk about the same one, right?
Tiny little gland sits in the center of your brain
Okay.
that they refer to as your third eye.
Your soul.
Your third eye, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the structure of a human brain,
Okay.
from the side, it looks almost identical to the symbol for the Eye of Horus from Egypt.
Get out of here. Come
Dead serious.
on.
Dead serious, right? And they're saying that the third eye or the pineal gland allows you in meditative states and beyond to transcend and do, say, astral projection, or to be able to do some of these things when they talk about enlightenment, like monks who practice Buddhism their entire life trying to reach that higher plane.
Yep.
They're saying the pineal gland is what allows you to
Makes
get
sense.
to that point, right?
Okay.
Problem is, based on our shitty diets and based on all the crap that they put in the water,
We're killing
the
it.
pineal gland becomes calcified, right? And hardens up,
Okay.
right? And they were talking about there are ways to decalcify your pineal gland,
Right.
right?
Okay.
And if you can decalcify it and you start practicing these meditative states, you can trigger and bring on some of these enlightened states.
100%.
And they're saying the goal for humanity wasn't to stay in the vessel of the body, but to transcend that, right? This is what, like, the Buddhists talk about, like the different planes, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
I 100% believe that.
So,
It's 100% possible and doable.
yes, but you have to decalcify the pineal gland.
I would be interested to know how they do that now.
Right. They're saying drink as much water as you can humanly drink. That's part of it.
Oh,
But like good filtered clean water, so it doesn't have the
man,
fluorides.
we have been on the water gig for a while, you and me.
Right.
And
You got to drink the filtered water, so you're not drinking those pharmaceuticals, you're not drinking those fluorides and all those other things, because fluoride was actually put in the water to make you dumber. They said it was to help you keep you from getting bad teeth, but there's tons and tons of studies that say it actually dumbs you down, and that kids who grow up drinking water impregnated with fluoride have lower IQs than kids who do
Isn't
not.
that all of us?
Yeah.
I mean, that's everybody.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I
Not in Europe, though.
Short of
Europe and Asia doesn't.
Listen, there are so many comments to make to that, and I'm not sure how to figure that out because we can't go political. So
Right. I'm just saying.
So no, but you're right. We're sitting on the.
They're saying don't eat processed foods, don't drink water with fluoride.
So
Right?
okay,
and
so
then you got to do these meditative states, right?
here's-
Where you're doing breathing exercises, where you're breathing from your pelvis, forcing your spinal fluid up your spinal canal to the brain, and by forcing it into the brain, into those ventricles.
It's funny that you mentioned that because in Buddhism we have a lot of practices where in Buddhism and in like Kung Fu, we got a lot of practices where you actually imagine your ball of energy coming up from the lower of your spine into your brain. So that's a very common practice.
Right, and
for
that's
us in that
supposed to help
community. Yeah.
decalcify that pineal.
I didn't know that, but
Right.
I just do it because that's what they tell us.
Oh,
It's just like,
see,
hey, you
there we
showed
go.
up to
I
meditate.
just
Let's
thought it was,
meditate.
like, we talk about all kinds
I think
of
it's crazy
things.
that you're saying that part though, because that's extremely interesting.
Right.
To hear that part.
They're saying there's exercises where you can physically cause contraction, which will force spinal fluid up the spinal canal from the base of the pelvis
I believe that too.
all the way up into the brainstem and into the ventricles of the brain. And by forcing it back into the brain, it breaks up those calcifications in the pineal gland.
I have 1000% been able to induce nostalgic and drug felt like feelings by doing stuff like that. So how it's simple, right? So like if you've ever meditated, usually if you're a person who meditates, you're meditating all the time. A lot of us fall off because we get old and busy. But if you go back, so let's say you haven't meditated in forever and you're real messed up, whatever, and you go meditate for an extended period of time, 1-2 hours, and you don't move, bro, you will get up and you will feel a way that is like drug induced from doing that.
It's super interesting.
But a lot of people can't sit for 2 hours. So
Right.
they're not going to make it that far. If anybody's interested in doing a 2-hour meditation with me and Joe Skelly, write the show. At this point, I would do anything. I don't think Joe Skelly will sit for the whole thing, but I will. I'll sit with you the whole time. You will not like it. So when I was young,
why did you have to make it fucking creepy?
Because I mean, I'm dead serious. I mean, 2 hours of meditation is extremely hard. I don't think there. I think, and I know a lot of people. You know, a lot of people would think that that's like a lot of bullshit, but it's not. It's extremely. It'll change your body to sit there with a good. Posture. Yes, thank you. And get good airflow, get good breath, especially if you're in the sun, you're in a good environment, you're maybe in nature or something. I mean, it's silly because those videos look, even to me, they look silly because it's so modernized, but they're getting away from what you're talking about right now.
Here's what we'll add to this, right?
Yeah.
Some of the most successful businessmen and people on the planet.
Yeah.
Absolutely meditate.
1000%.
And they see their futures happening, right?
I think you have to.
Right. They meditate and they can see their future happening to them, right?
Yeah.
And then it happens. So
I did that.
I think that's part of that.
We did that.
I think that's part of that projection in getting to that higher existence by using that pineal gland, right? The third eye, if you will.
Joe Skelly, I used my third eye to find you, and we're here.
Oh.
You've heard this story. I know you've heard this story.
No, I thought you said you touched your third eye.
No.
And thought about me, and then you found me. And then I was like, dude, that's kind of weird for you to tell
only
me.
While
but
I,
hey, okay,
only while
whatever.
I listen to PsyOps.
Oh, God.
Listen, you guys, this is a serious note. We're going to get serious right now.
But this stuff goes like back to the ancient Egyptians. This goes back to the ancient cultures talk about using.
You know, I believe in that stuff. And that's exactly why I don't say half the things I'm not supposed to say on here. Because it's really draws everything out. And that business thing is 100% true. I had a full visualization of what we'd be doing and everything, 2 years before I met you. And it drew us together and made this whole podcast.
It made this all possible.
It did. Our podcast is an extension, a branch of our life that has nothing to do with this. Nothing. We together, when we became friends, had never, ever even dreamed of making this.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not.
No.
You and me were staring off into the distance, fucking north, and the podcast was south. And we literally just turned around one day and we're like, hey,
let's try this thing.
Right.
And see what's going on.
But that
and by the way, I think this was before everybody got onto the podcast bandwagon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Listen, this is like our 9th one. No, seriously, though. I mean, dude, the visualization thing, I was using that and struggling with all of my business stuff before we met and started doing other things. And I 1000% believe in that. It's Harry Potter stuff, bro. It's the only way.
And here we go, full circle.
Yeah, we can come back. I know.
back to the changing hat or whatever they call that fucking thing.
What about inducing? So I'm curious about this because of the more, I guess.
Well, here's something else I didn't even equate with this, right?
No.
Remember we talked about the body being essentially a battery, right?
Okay.
An electrochemical machine, if you will, right? And then when you induce chemical reaction, which creates electricity, it creates magnetic fields, right? We did talk about this on the show. And then we talked about how people talk about focusing their chi and people talk, I can lay my hands on this person and heal them, right?
Right.
So let's say you meditate to the point where you're able to master and manipulate your own magnetic field that surrounds your body. Right?
And then meaning I could pull the people that I want to around me type
No,
deal?
no. I go to heal you, right?
Okay.
They talk about I can put hands and I can hold my hands just like Reiki,
for example. Reiki style
right.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is...
They don't actually touch you, yeah.
Yeah, this is before fucking Reiki,
okay.
Right? We're talking about ancient
right.
Chinese and Japanese healing, right?
Right.
And then they say they could focus their chi to that point of your body and help promote healing, right?
Yes.
And the people who are getting it done describe it as it feels hot
100%.
in that area, right?
Yes.
So you are able to master your own magnetic field through meditation.
Yes.
All right. If I can master and manipulate my own magnetic field, I should be able to manipulate yours.
No.
Yeah.
You can affect it, but you can't.
That's what I'm saying. I can affect your magnetic field.
Yeah, I thought you meant you're going to be able to be hey, I could make him lift his left arm.
No. I can use my magnetic field and influence yours.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I can influence yours and use mine to create this magnetic field around a very specific point.
Sure.
It could draw blood flow,
Sure.
which brings oxygen,
110%.
which brings white blood cells, which starts the healing process. And that's where it's like taking two negatives of a battery and putting them two opposite sides of battery. You creates that heat, right?
Yes.
Same principle, right?
1,000%.
But that's also using that pineal gland or that third eye to be able to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're talking about in martial arts, connecting your body or connecting your inside to the outside to make things happen, right? And becoming more connected with that. One of the kung fu...
But even the Buddhists have said, as you on this road to enlightenment, if you read the Buddhist koans, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying at certain points of enlightenment, you learn tricks, but you're not supposed to use them because that detracts from you becoming enlightened.
As a person, yeah.
Tricks like levitation. I've heard this from people who've studied Buddhism and other things, right?
Yeah.
That if you, the higher you are in enlightenment, you can actually levitate and do weird shit like that. But you're not supposed to do that because by using the tricks that you know how to do, you detract and take away from.
You're contradicting what we're trying to achieve. Right. So that's as you know, my particulars, I'm more into, or was more into Zen Buddhism, and I used it, that was after I found regular Buddhism, which was totally cool, but that stuff you're talking about seems like it goes way over to another left side that I'm not really familiar with. I think most of our meditations and Buddhist stuff and practices have always been controlling and
also didn't end with anybody self-embalming themselves, like that one practice we talked about in Buddhism. Remember that episode?
Yeah, that's horrible. No, I'm good on all that weird shit. What you're saying is 100%. I had a crazy ex who she was more into that side of Buddhism. And when she would talk to me, it was like talking to you about ghost. I'm like, dog, I don't know what you're saying. I practiced an hour today. I didn't rip anybody's head off. I'm good. I reached enlightenment where I was peaceful with the people around me. So I don't know. Maybe that's
like,
whatever.
I reset my chakras.
Right. I'm good.
I didn't. And when I say chakra, I'm not talking about
your chi.
Xena Warrior Princess chakra, throwing her chakras.
Listen, I would reset her chakra in a heartbeat. Her and that little redhead with the pole stick that she used to run around with. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And I beat Kevin Sorbo's ass. He thinks he's Hercules. He's going to break that up. I'd have got him out of here. You're out of here, Kevin Sorbo, with your long hair. Get out of here, homie.
You're not busting up.
No, you're not welcome.
This party.
You're not welcome to the chakra party. So, no, dude, I think that's a different kind of Buddhism, that ghost shit and everything else. And, dude, look, we've been friends for a while now, and you've even pushed me back into some of that stuff. You've introduced me to a mutual friend that we have. Shout out to the artist that we have that's into that. And he and I have had extensive conversations about this kind of stuff. Not as in depth. We tap more of the surface, since we're newer friends. But when's the last time you did a long haul meditation?
It's been a really, really, really
long time.
Really, really long time. The last time. No, it wasn't the last time, but there was a huge period of time in my life where I didn't do any meditation. I went through some traumatic things, and then I took a yoga class.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at the end of yoga, they have you get into a position called Shavasana, right?
Ooh, which one is that? I don't know the position
That's where
names.
Essentially, you're laying on your back with your palms up.
Oh, yeah.
You close your eyes, and it's a meditative state, right?
Yeah.
For a good 20 minutes or so, right?
Yeah.
And it induced some very strange reactions out of me.
Yeah.
Because it had been so long since I'd done anything like that.
Yeah.
And I actually went to the yoga instructor. I said, hey, what caused this?
Right.
Right. And this is the interesting response she gave me. She said, during this episode or this practice of yoga, we did what we call a lot of open heart moves, right?
Okay.
Where you open up your chest and project your chest out forwards, right?
Okay.
In different positions you do this. She goes, essentially what has happened is over our lives, we start to walk with our shoulders more rolled in towards the center of our chest.
Yep.
We block ourselves off from the world. We walk with our heads down, and you disconnect the brain from the heart. And what we've done today with all these open heart moves is we've reestablished that connection between the brain the third eye, if you will, and the heart. And all of this weird reaction you're getting is because all that shit you've been shoving down for years and years and years and years and years is coming out.
Right.
Because we just reestablished the connection between the two.
Right.
And that was so weird, but it sounded so correct when she told me. And it made 100% sense. And the weird thing is, I chased that for like a year and a half.
Doing yoga?
Yeah. I kept going back again and again
So funny
and again
that we're talking
and again
about this.
to chase that experience because I wanted it again because I needed to understand it because I didn't. And it only happened, I'd say, 2 more times afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But it was super weird when it happened because for me, there was no explanation.
It's funny that we're talking about this 2 days ago because of my stupid face and that Bigfoot backflip you did into it. Dude, listen, I had them pull that tooth and my back was so tight. I thought I was going to die like the next day. And all of a sudden it's coming out like you're saying, right? And the Mega Beast is like, maybe you're just relieving stress because you've been carrying that broken tooth since before the Juggalos or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, all right, well, whatever. So I did an hour of yoga 2 days ago. I just forgot yesterday to do it. And I tell you what, the whole rest of my day was amazing. Woke up, brushed my teeth, did my morning toiletries and went right to the mat and did an hour of yoga. And the rest of my day was fucking perfect, bro. And not in the sense of like anything happened, but it was almost as if I could make good, healthy, cognitive decisions throughout my day with no hangups. And it's funny that we're talking about this whole thing because I've started to listen, we've been in a lot of pain, the both of us lately. And I just was the other day was like, listen, I got to get back on the mat because I'm dying. I am dying.
And it's made a big difference, right?
Yes, of
That's
course. Of course
wild.
it does. Of course
It's
it does.
wild.
You know it does. Well, what's wild is that we fucking ignore it.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at us taking a time from our show to talk about real stuff. This is horrible. This is horrible. Our audience is leaving. We need more ghost stuff.
I got more.
No, let's see. No, I want to continue this actually. First of all, we've been friends for 2 decades now. You've never told me once that you went to fucking yoga for a year.
I did yoga I used to do regular yoga and hot yoga.
And there it is. Hot yoga was such a fucking trend. I remember when that dropped.
Dude, yoga?
And it got famous. Remember?
Hot yoga is...
They had hot yoga dojos everywhere around here for a minute.
Dude, there's one right down the street from my house. I used to go down there all the time.
Is it still there?
Oh, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
They still do it.
They just survived that long, huh?
Yeah, they still do it. It's a big yoga studio. They got 2 locations.
How come we can't get a business where you just come and hang out on the floor and they pay us?
Because we're not super hot like the chicks that teach it.
Are they?
I started doing yoga because I wanted to improve my status in my brains.
Right.
And then I started doing hot yoga, and then I realized, wow, I'm like one, maybe 2 guys in this entire class.
Oh yeah.
This is weird.
Oh yeah.
So I kept going back.
Yeah.
I was a minority for once.
Right.
Well, I'm actually always a minority.
Yeah, I was about to say
I'm a minority every day of my life. But,
right.
But it was weird to be in a class that was just
girls.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's a super physical fucking class.
Oh yeah, dude.
And you might think you're a big Billy Badass, do a 90-minute hot fucking yoga session, and if you ain't crying like a bitch when you're done,
right. Bro, they got you in the downward-facing dog, the upward Theodore Roosevelts, all kinds of shit.
Hot yoga is yoga push-ups, bro. It's just getting smoked in 200-degree weather. That's what it is.
Listen, so
legally
going back to the meditation thing, we should have prefaced with this. I'm going to say this before we continue because we talked a lot of shit earlier. You could go and meditate for 2 hours right now off the rip, but the reason it's going to induce all that is because of exactly what you said. It's when you go and do all this shit that you haven't been doing in so long, that's why you get that super high feeling. It's not because you did the 2 hours of yoga, because if you, like for today, if I haven't meditated in however long, doesn't matter. That yoga didn't count the other day. But if I hadn't meditated and we flushed 2 hours, you're going to get that chemical release, like you said. Right. But over the next week, that chemical release is going to be blown out through your day. Your day is going to be better, but you're not going to feel that up front.
Right. Not like,
and I just want to clarify
again, that's why I said, after that one experience,
Right.
I kept chasing it.
Right.
And it only happened maybe like 2 more times, even though I was doing a regular practice, like 3-4 times a week I was going. Right.
So, hey, let's throw a tip because we got to get out of here. But let's throw a tip. I want to throw a tip out real fast.
We've been talking that long already.
Dude, that was a good one.
Yeah.
So listen, I want to throw a tip out here. If you guys are interested, this is one of the billion Buddhist meditations we used to do. Shout out to my boy Soup. If you want to learn if you're good at meditating, the easiest way for beginners is to do a count meditation. So you go into your meditation, you get into your position, and then you count. And you count as high as you can, and it's an infinite count. The thing is, it's an infinite count. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is, though, is you have to be able to visually and mentally count without interruption. So what you do is you sit there and you have your eyes closed, and you can picture the number 1, and you say the number 1 in your head. But if another thought comes into your head, you have to reboot and start over, and you start the count again. And that's how you learn to truthfully meditate, because most people just sit there and, they're sitting there picking their nose while their eyes are closed and all that weird stuff. You run into that a lot with really young people, especially. But if you can
you're talking like count like that Sesame Street video where it was like
1,000,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Exactly.
The only time I was able to count like that was I drank this tea. It was really fucking weird, and then I went to sleep, and that was my dream.
Was it the devil's lettuce tea? Because that's exactly what that sounds like.
No, it wasn't.
But no, dude, if you want a visual, I'm using air quotes. If you want a visual of how good you are at meditating, you just sit there, close your eyes, and count to 1. And when you think about your dad's shoes, you got to start over. 1, oh, I've thought about Joe Skelly's shirt. 1, oh, thought about Tech 9. 1, right?
Right?
So that's what you're doing. And as you begin and get better, you'll learn that you actually do gain control of your mind, dude. You'll get up there into the thousands. There's another, this goes with the sleep meditation. So if you want to do this while you're sleeping too, it's the same thing with the sheep. That's why the sheep thing works. And that's why people who are
I've never done that.
So I can't do that either.
I've never done that because I could never relate to sheep jumping over a fence.
Do you want to know why I can't do it with the sheep?
Why?
Because my sheep start doing backflips and shit, and I want to watch them.
Gotcha.
My sheep's like jumping, and then the fourth guy's like, "Hey, dog," and he does like a backflip, and I'm like, "Homie, you weren't
parkour.
You weren't supposed to do that."
Parkour.
And then the next sheep does it, and I'm like, "No, that's not right." Now, here's the funny one about the sleep one. Apparently, and this is true, this I've tried myself, and we can't sleep. So apparently there's a number that you do the meditation count to go to sleep that you as a human are incapable of getting to. So if you try to count to this number, it will force your brain to shut off and fall asleep before you get to the number. I can't remember what the number is.
Now I'm going to have to Google
it. It's pretty high, though. It's pretty high, bro.
I'm going to have to fucking Google it.
It's up into like 4,000 or something. It's like it's either 4,200 or something. It's some stupid fucking random number. I swear to God. But I tried 1,000,000 times to get there. Never made it once.
That's perfect.
Never made it once.
Shaggy, do me a favor. Before you Google that, Google what is the CIA code you're supposed to say
for pain.
For pain.
Yeah, that's the 5894.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't.
Never remember that.
I'm going to try it though because I'm willing to bet they didn't put $1 billion into research to put that in a book somewhere, and it not
work.
And it not work.
And it's not the first thing. And listen, we've talked about this before. The CIA is all into weird health stuff. The CIA, and you can go get this from any CIA guy that's got a video out. They'll tell you their number one thing is mental health.
Oh,
well,
right.
Mental health before they glaze you. Oopsies.
55515. And they said that if you're being physically tortured or interrogated, if you can concentrate on that number sequence and say it in your head again and again and again.
Yeah, that it makes
55515.
55515.
It'll stop the pain.
I wonder if it's got a breathing cadence thing to go with it. How the
it might.
Yeah.
But that means even if it was a meditative thing, that's a very specific sequence of numbers.
Right.
That's
1,000%.
That's really like there was
1,000%.
How much money did they spend
to find this shit out?
To find that sequence out?
Listen, you're asking the wrong questions. You know what questions you should be asking?
What's that?
How many fucking knuckles did they smash with a hammer to find this out?
Right.
That's
Hey,
the weird
did
question.
this-
That's the real
did-
question.
Did this number sequence work? Does your hand not hurt anymore?
Oh my goodness. DARPA, don't come after us.
Leave us alone, DARPA.
We'd like a job though.
Right. We're not protesting you,
Nope.
despite what was written in the Bible.
Right. We're in so much trouble. All of our fans left again. All right, well, let's get out of here because we got to get to the next episode because I got a whole interrogation interview ready.
No, we ain't getting that.
30. No, that's happening.
No.
30, 97 seconds.
Baes Boyz podcast. Don't forget to follow
Like,
us.
subscribe.
Yeah, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Follow us on all of the 1.5 million platforms we're on. Our YouTube channel.
Not the 4 that they banned us on.
Not the 4 that they banned us on. What was that one that we got shut down because they banned us?
Pandora.
Oh, Pandora. Yeah, fuck those
Pandora's
guys.
box. Listen,
Yeah.
fuck your box.
Yeah, fuck your box, Pandora.
Yeah. So,
But wait.
don't tell them. You're going
What?
to tell them
I'm going to tell them what?
that I fucked the YouTube.
No,
up.
that wasn't. You just stepped on your own dick there.
Yeah.
No,
it's all right.
what I was going to
Somebody
say
had
is
to.
we're fitting to reboot the YouTube channel.
We are.
We got to change some algorithms and do some other
Yeah.
things. So YouTube will be back, and it's going to be better for us. We're just doing some administrative things.
Yeah,
too.
I've messed up some tech stuff that I didn't realize was getting messed up. So I apologize, guys. We're working on that heavily right now. Yeah, let's get on to the next episode because I'm excited. 30, 97 seconds of everything you wanted. Later.